Hello and welcome to my second live for the day. I'm not going to lie, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to keep this up. And so I'm going to look in between the webcam and my camera. So hopefully this works. But I wanted to tell you guys, today's more of a behind the scenes. You guys have been seeing content from me regarding the Content Alchemy. Doors open today. And when I was about 25, it was like a Friday. I remember very clearly because it was the moment that changed the rest of my life moving forward from 25. I was in clinic. So those of you who may not know, I was a nurse by trade. I started in scrubs as my original journey into adulthood. And I was in charge of kind of training the med students who were cycling through surgical oncology. And I don't know what it was. I just assumed you went through med school and you've already gone through bachelor's and now you're in med school. I just assumed that they knew basic healthcare stuff. And I didn't realize that they don't. So one of the doctors, the head doctor was like, I need you to teach her how to take manual blood pressures. And I was like, seriously? Man, all right. So I took her to the back and, explained to her how to use the cuff and, how to use the stethoscope and how to put them in so that they went into her ears the right way and la 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 la. We start doing it. I take the blood pressure on her, and then she was supposed to, see one, teach one, do one. And she's like, I don't hear nothing. So I was trying to look at the blood pressure cuff to see if I could tell just by the movement. I was go really, really slow so that I can tell you maybe when she's like, I don't think I'm doing this right. After a few times, she's like, oh my God, I think I hear something. And finally, she goes, I don't think I'm doing it right because it's really high. And I was like, how high? And she's like 250 over 120 or 110, I think she said. I was like, oh yeah, you's not doing it right. But keep in mind, she's taking my blood pressure at this point. So I was like, okay, this isn't working. So I was like, you know what? I got an idea. Let's go to the front of the clinic. We'll take my blood pressure on the manual machine. And then that way you have an idea of when you should be listening for the thump, thump, thump. And we go do it. And y'all, the blood pressure was even higher on the manual machine. And I was like, oh shit. She was for reals hearing the right thing. I was like, oh, I'm stressed. So I went to my manager. I walked straight to Yvonne and was like, Yvonne, I'm stressed. I got to take the rest of the day out. It was Friday. We didn't have any more patients the rest of the day anyways. So I did what all nurses do. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I know that I'm at risk for a stroke. So I'm going to drink some red wine and take some aspirin. That was my thing. And so I rested for the rest of the weekend. I come into the clinic on Monday and our female surgeon calls me to the back. Anacani, come here now. Sit down. She has me sit down. She takes my manual blood pressure and it's just as high. It has not gone down. And for those of you who are not medical, just know that it is high. So she's like, Anacani, are you serious? You could have had a heart attack. You could have had a stroke in your house. You could have died. What is wrong with you? Go upstairs. I already called Dr. Osqui, who was the cardiologist in the same building, and they're waiting for you. I can't believe you. You're so irresponsible. I was like, yes, ma'am. So I went upstairs. And they're like, yep, you got high blood pressure. Here's some medicine. I was like, oh no. I do not have high blood pressure. I am 25. I'm in the best shape of my life. I just finished running a freaking marathon. And they're like, Anacani, you have high blood pressure. And it's not just high. It's outrageous high. I was like, I'm not taking that. I don't have high blood pressure. Something else. You guys figure something else. I was in complete denial. And these words changed my life. I was like, he goes, looks at me, he's like, okay, let me put it to you this way. If you either take these pills or you are going to die in 3 months. I was like, hold on a minute. Wait, what? We went from having high blood pressure to I only have 3 months to live? I was like, wait a minute. I sat down. I was like, you need to tell me more. And the moral of the story was that my blood pressure was so high that if it's, they didn't know what was going on. They're like, we have to do a lot of tests. But for the meantime, you need to take this blood pressure so that we can bring it down, because it is so high right now. If you just continue to let it go while we're trying to figure out what's wrong with you, the chances, we don't know how long your blood pressure's been this high, and mostly because I was asymptomatic. I had no idea. Like I said, I had ran a marathon. I was feeling in the best shape of my life. I was in better shape than I was when I was in the military, y'all. It was fantastic. I was feeling invincible. And then to be like, you pretty much have 3 months to live, or you need to take these pills. And we don't even really know what's wrong with you yet, but these are like, this is your red pill and your blue pill. Like, choose which one you want to do. And they basically was like, it's going to put so much pressure on all of your organs that they're basically going to eventually just shut down. We don't know when that is. And you're going to be one of these statistical 20-year-olds that just collapses in the middle of like the street or whatever. And they die instantly. And I was like, damn, ain't that something? I'm over here thinking that I'm at the peak, like things are just about to like move forward, and I'm at, I'm at the uphill and I'm about to go downhill and enjoy life fast and fun. Changed my life. And so I tell you this story because I ended up a year later getting diagnosed with a second heart condition. And it was in these moments that I truly started to develop the sense that I was burnt out. Now, a couple things about me just as an individual. I was also a workaholic. I used work to mask some of my insecurities, some of my, things that I hadn't dealt with from, past trauma. And working was my coping mechanism. I was keeping myself so busy and pushing myself to the max to not allow myself to feel, to think, to, any of it, deal with it. Like if I didn't have time to think about it, or time to remember about it, or time to feel it, it did not exist in my world. And that's how I ran myself to the ground. Literally, like my body was like kaput. And it set off 12, 15 years of struggling with 2 heart conditions. I ended up with PCOS. I ended up with cervical cancer shortly after that. It sucked. Like, it felt like I was the most unhealthiest or unluckiest 20-year-old in the world. But I was like, there was something inside me that refused to just accept what they were telling me, that I was going to have to be on this blood pressure medicine for my life, the rest of my life. And I was in this small percentage of people, like for no reason, just developed this stuff. And there was no way I was ever going to be able to get off of this. This is just going to be the rest of my life. And I was just going to have to deal with it. It took me a really long time. When I was in my late 30s, I was trying to get pregnant. Nobody wanted to help. And it was like, during the end of the pandemic, but out here in the South Pacific, it was still very, considered high. Like, we were still wearing masks. We were still like in lockdown. Nobody could come in. And, if you left, you better have the right paperwork so you could come back, kind of situation. And burnout sucks. To be 20 in your prime, essentially, for most people, and to be told that you have to pull back, you have to slow down, you can't, you're never going to be able to win the race. You can be in the race, but you're never going to be able to win. So don't be competitive. Just do it, just to do it kind of mentality. And I've been a huge advocate for burnout since. When I realized that the truth to my burnout, ended up, so I'm no longer, by the way, I'm 44 now, no longer on my blood pressure medication. I haven't been on blood pressure medication for 3 years now. Super proud. High five, virtual high five to myself. Give myself some hugs because it's fantastic. The culprit, stress. This negative relationship we have with rest as entrepreneurs, as wellness practitioners. Time and time again, we put everybody in front of us except for ourselves. I used to believe I was irreplaceable. I could not take vacations. What if something went wrong? They're not going to be able to know how to take care of. What if somebody comes in and they have a really bad diagnosis and nobody knows how to take care of people just like me. And I was grinding so hard trying to take care of the world that I forgot to take care of myself, and I forgot to enjoy my life. Fast forward, 15, 20 years almost later, I started to feel as I left my nursing career for my entrepreneurial career in that same kind of situation where I was stressed out because I was trying to keep up with, social media, marketing, email, all these things that people were telling me I needed to do in order to, be successful, in order to actually make the money that was going to change my family's life. And in the process, I started to lose myself. I started to just feel generic. I started to lose the spark that put me on this path of trying to help women in the first place. I started to feel that cycle of what it felt like when I was burnt out to begin with, and it scared the shit out of me. I was like, there's got to be a better way. I am full of all this stuff, all this magic, and I don't know how to share it because I can't keep up with the day-to-day of running a business. And if this is what it is for the birds. And they're like, it's going to be hard, but it's going to pay off. And I'm like, I get that, but is it going to pay off before I die? There's got to be a better way. So I decided to create the Content Alchemy, which is a 4-week beta cohort course, because I developed my own framework system that has helped me manage 3 businesses, stay present in all of them, get fabulous, contracts to make the money that I needed to make, build the communities that I've always dreamed of building, and stay present in my social media. Be able to learn all the things, but still be present with my 3-year-old and throughout his little life, from birth to now, and continue to play that role in his life, to try to be a better spouse, to be a better military spouse to other spouses who are out there and are new to this and are struggling. And I'm able to do this with a simple system that helps me literally refine a message, break it up into a bunch of pieces to help buffer that space so that I'm not pressured to have to recreate the wheel, to be on the hamster wheel of constantly creating. And I started to notice that all my wellness women entrepreneurs, my birth workers specifically, other yoga instructors, other female fitness instructors, other energy workers, my water sports instructors, because you guys, I'm a master stand-up paddleboard instructor for those of you who do not know, and that shit is hard. When people complain about paying $50 to $80 for a stand-up paddleboard lesson, a sup lesson, or a kayak lesson, I want to slap them in the face. No offense. I know I said that out loud, and somebody might say some shit to me, but I was in the military. I'm a mermaid by trait and a sailor during the day, y'all. And it's really great that it took me this long to not cuss, because typically I do cuss. And so it's hard work. That is manual work. It is exhausting teaching that specifically thing. And so all of these people are already at risk for being a female and for these specific service-based jobs to burn out just from doing the thing. And then we add on marketing, and then we add on now AI. And it's like a recipe for disaster for those of them who are still pouring from within their cup instead of the overflow. They don't have the stress management. I thought I was awesome at stress management. I have a very monotone voice. It's very relaxing. It's why I did so well in surgical oncology. And that made me just assume that I was a very relaxed person. In the inside, I was a hot, disastrous mess. And it eventually manifested into physical things. And so I am not just teaching you this strategy of creating content and repurposing it really well. I'm also teaching you some stress management skills, because it's all comes back to doing it to give you more time with your family, more time for yourself, for self-care, and more time for doing the things that you actually want to do. Instead of spending hours doing marketing, I want you to be able to actually serve more women who are actually out there suffering and need your magic. Because that's what I wanted for my life. I was able to get it. Now I can teach 4 or 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week. I can still hang out with my son. I still cook dinner from scratch every night. I go to sleep at 8. I wake up 4 or 5. Sometimes I sleep in until 6. When my son wakes up, I'm energized. I love life. I'm living it. It's fantastic. I'm still volunteering. I'm still in my communities. I'm still building and creating. And that spark is only igniting bigger because I don't have that, that stress, that weight of constantly creating and reinventing myself and on this hamster wheel. And so if you are a woman, heart-led, wellness entrepreneur, and you're looking for a better system, I got you. Content Alchemy was literally built for you by someone who was you. And I don't want you to go, I do not want anybody to have to experience burnout in its essence. It sucks. It sucks. And my mission is to keep as many women entrepreneurs from ever experiencing burnout. I'm on the live. You want to say hi? Come.
Hi.
And so, yeah, I gotta go. This is my son Garfield. We're gonna go take a bath. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys can, if you're on Instagram, you can comment on this live or DM me the word GLOW, GLOW. I can get you some information on the actual course. I don't have that many spots available. I only opened it for 30. I wanted to be very intimate so that it was a high touch point course. It's live. It is a beta cohort so that you can help me make this magical spark that I've created even more magical so that it can really make the impact that I want. The fast acting bonuses have already been taken up, but there's still a lot of awesomeness that you get. You can check out the link. You can get it in the DMs when you comment GLOW or DM that you're interested. If you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, you can check out the link in the first comment or the description. And I don't think I have any comments. I think we're good. I forget to use this comment thing. Oh, not available when I use StreamYard. Okay. Well, I will see you guys tomorrow for day 2. Doors officially open today for the Content Alchemy. They're only open for 7 days. So May 7th, midnight Japan time. So everybody on the stateside, that would be the 6th for y'all. Midnight, doors close, and that is it, my friends. You'll have to wait and get on the wait list for the next opening. In the meantime, stay beautiful. Keep leading from the heart, and I will catch you in the next live. Good night. And that one, Facebook, YouTube, I love you. And if you guys know anybody who might benefit from this, like this is like, Anacani, that sounds awesome, but it's not for me, but you know somebody who it might, please, please, please help me out and share this video, share the link. I would really, really appreciate it, fam. Good night.